Hey guys, next very basic Bible 8-minute quick read through the book of Matthew. We're in Matthew chapter 20, verse 23, I believe. I was a little distracted last time. I'm not sure where I ended. We'll start on verse 23. 8 minutes, ready, set. Jesus said to them, the mother of Zebedee's sons and her sons, he said to them three, you will indeed drink from my cup. You will indeed suffer like I suffer. But to sit at my right and my left is not for me to grant. These places belong to those for whom they have been prepared for by my Father. Remember, the mother was like, grant that my sons may sit at your right and the other at your left in your kingdom. Jesus, can you drink the cup? We can suffer like you. He's like, you can suffer, but I can't give you those seats. When the 10 others heard about this, they were indignant with the two brothers. Jesus called them all together and said, so he's talking to his 12 apostles, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Whoever wants to be first must be your slave. The same message Jesus keeps saying. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Jesus practices what he preaches. The first will be last. Those who exalt themselves will be humbled. Those who humble themselves will be exalted. Whoever wants to be first must be your slave, just as I did not come to be served, but to serve. Don't come to be served, but to serve. Okay, I'm talking too much. As Jesus and his, next sometime later, I guess. As Jesus and his disciples were leaving Jericho, a large crowd followed him. Two blind men were sitting by the roadside, probably because they were beggars, sitting by the roadside. When they heard that Jesus was going by, they shouted, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. Okay. The crowd rebuked them and told them to be quiet, but they shouted all the louder, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. Jesus stopped and called them. What do you want me to do for you? I kind of picture hey, come over here. And then the blind men, they're like, they can't see. They're going through the crowd. They're running into people. Maybe people led them that way. Maybe Jesus walked there. Anyway, okay, what do you want me to do for you? Two blind men. Lord, they answered, we want our sight. Jesus had compassion on them and touched their eyes. Immediately they received their sight and followed him. Okay. So Jesus is like, let the little children come to me. I guess let the blind men come to me. All right. Chapter 21. As they approached Jerusalem, he's just left Jericho. So as they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage and the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two disciples, saying to them, go to the village ahead of you. I don't know what village. Maybe Bethphage, maybe another village. Anyway, go to the village ahead of you, and at once you will find a donkey tied there with her colt by her. Untie them and bring them to me. Okay. If anyone says anything to you, say that the Lord needs the donkey and the colt, and he will send them right away. Close quotation marks. This took place to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet. Okay, he's still fulfilling prophecy. Say to daughter Zion, see, your king comes to you, gentle and riding on a donkey, on a colt the foal of a donkey. Yeah, up here, a colt and a donkey. Daughter Zion is Jerusalem. The disciples went and did as Jesus had instructed them. They brought the donkey and the colt and placed their cloaks on them for Jesus to sit on. Your king comes to you gentle and riding on a donkey. Jesus is the king. Remember the Magi? Hey, where's the king? The king's going to come to Jerusalem riding on a donkey. Okay. Jesus is sitting on the cloaks on the colt and the donkey. Probably just a donkey. The colt walks around. Okay. A very large crowd, of course, spread their cloaks on the road, while others cut branches from trees and spread them on the road. The crowds went, so Jesus is, I guess, riding the donkey on the cloaks and branches. The crowd went ahead of him, and those that followed shouted, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest heaven. Like a parade or a royal procession. When Jesus entered Jerusalem, so, okay, he did enter Jerusalem, the whole city was stirred and asked, who is this? The crowd. Now, he had been to Jerusalem before, but a lot of people probably don't know him. He doesn't live in Jerusalem, so maybe people don't remember him. The crowds answered, this is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee. Okay. I wonder what the people thought. It doesn't tell us what they thought. Okay. Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. Why would you be buying and selling in the temple? He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, Jesus said to them, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. So obviously the money changers, the people buying and selling, the dove sellers, they were robbing people evidently. The blind and the lame came to him at the temple and he healed them. Of course he did. He always does that. But when the chief priests and the teachers of the law saw the wonderful things he did, and the children shouting in the temple courts, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were indignant. Of course they were. Do you hear what these children are saying? The religious leaders asked him. Yes, replied Jesus. Have you never read, from the lips of children and infants you, Lord, have called forth your praise? Religious leaders, chief priests, of course they've read that from the Old Testament. Jesus is like, I hear them. Haven't you read? So he's being a little snarky there to the religious leaders. And Jesus left them and went out to the city of Bethany, where he spent the night. Probably went to Bethany because Jerusalem was full of people and there's no place to sleep. Also, remember earlier, the Pharisees wanted to kill him. He just wrote in saying, I'm the king. They were really mad at him. He's going to leave. He don't want to be killed yet. He wants to be crucified a few days later. Early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city from Bethany, he goes back to Jerusalem. He was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it, but found on it nothing except leaves. Then he said to it, may you never bear fruit again. Immediately the tree withered. Whoa. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed. How did the fig tree wither so quickly? They asked. Jesus replied, truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to this fig tree, but you also can say to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea, and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. I don't recall the disciples ever withering fig trees, telling mountains to go. They did be cast into the sea. They did heal a lot of people. And if you believe, whatever you receive will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. I have prayed for people to be saved, and God has saved them. Okay. So, trust in God. Jesus entered the temple courts, and while he was teaching, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him. There's our timer. Okay, guys, we'll come back. Verse 23 and a half next time. Remember, got any questions about the verses we read? Go to my show notes and look up the verse by verse teachings that I've put there. All right. See you next time.